Hello everyone. I hope everyone enjoying their afternoon as I'm enjoying mine. And this is good for I love this. I love this guys. I'm just putting my mango like this instead of using salt. It says tahin. Oh, it's good. It's kind of like sour. Has a sour taste to it. Now I'm slavering. Mm, sarap. It's a good afternoon right now. I can see the mountain really good. It's clear. Anyway, guys, I want to share a story. Like always. I don't know. I just like to share a story. That's how all LOLA'S. So many stories to share. My grandpa was the same way. My grandma was not so bad, but my grandpa always have a story. So I guess that's how I like to remember him, and I guess that's how I like to tell story too. Because I love listening, guys. I love hanging out with older people because I feel like maybe because they raised me and I learned a lot. They instilled something in me that I carry that until now, all these years. So I have this long-term memories. That means, you know what that means, right? I'm old. When you have a long-term memory, I heard you're close to your, time. Because if you, they said if somebody's gonna live in this world, they always remember or see something in their past. I don't know. It sounds creepy, but I heard that. That's why when people have so much time to live, you know, they just calling people's name because that's what they remember. The people way back then, not the short-term memory. It's the long-term memory. So I'm about to be gone. Oh, you just never know, guys. Okay. Anyway, I know you guys always heard me talking about my grandparents, right? Well, because they instilled something in me that I carried until now, you know. And that is the family value. Yeah. Without them, I don't know how am I gonna turn out. I'm not saying that I turned out good. You know what I mean? But the family value, the love, and that's where I learned that family is really important because look, everybody gave up on me and my brother and my cousins, two cousins, and me and my brother. My cousins were sister and brothers also. And when all the grandchildren, when four of us, um, it's like all our parents were like move away. Hey, they didn't hesitate, no matter how poor they were, to keep us. So that means a lot to me. And that's what I always tell my children too, that you two are the only one here in this world, no matter what. Yeah, you can call anybody your sister, but bloodline is just two of you. So you guys need to keep that together. So I'm glad that so far so good for my children. But anyway, I always say that too, that my grandparents were really poor because that's how I remember them. But you know what, guys, really, they weren't poor before we were born. My grandparents owned like 40 acres of land. And that land was rich of coconut, you know, plantation and bananas, name it. pineapple. That's how he raised his 5 children. Four boys and one my aunt. So there were 5 of them. And so anyway, they became poor because as his children grew up and have their own family, including my father, and they already have their wives. All these wives like telling their husband that, oh, you should get more money because you planted this coconut section right here, or you should have more money. They feel like all the children feel like they're entitled to their share every time that they harvest the coconut, or whatever they harvest. They feel like they should keep that money. The entitlement that, because they were saying like, oh, I skipped school to plant this, to plant that, so now that it's ready to harvest, I should be keeping that. And they were fighting. My grandpa said that they were fighting. So that was the problem. I think my grandpa had enough of them fighting for little money, or every harvest time all the brothers like chasing. This is like fight, like chasing bolo. That's what they're saying. And then my cousin mom, the one that my grandpa raised, she made it here too in America. They said she's, in fact, right now she's in Jacksonville. I haven't seen her since I got here in 1989. I refused because she only petitioned her daughter to come here to America. She didn't petition her son. Okay, so her son were raised by my grandparents since birth. Okay, when she came here to America, she didn't petition him, and didn't bother to support my grandparents. Like monthly allowance like that for the child. And so when my parents split up, there we were again. They end up raising us again, me and my brother. So there were 3 of us, and my question always like, why only one child that my aunt petitioned? Why she only petitioned that one girl? She didn't petition her son. So all that, and then when I heard that my mother, that here in America, I had that in my mind too all the time. Like, why? All kinds of questions that it has no answer really. Because my grandparents, I guess, for their disappointment, they refuse to talk about it, I think. But you can tell that they're very, very disappointed, you know. And anyway, when my aunt made it here in America, parents still own the land. That is, like I said, 40 acres. I think the reason why my aunt never bothered to support my grandparents, because they still own the land, right? But the brother will continue fighting over it, you know. So my grandpa was so angry, and he pawned this land to the Chinese guy in town. This is in Barra Santo Niño, Western Samar, okay? His land. So when he pawned it, he didn't have no money to get it back. So he called a letter to my aunt here in Jacksonville and say that, can you please, you know, get our land back from this Chinese guy, because I pawned it because all your brothers were really, really fighting over it, you know. So now my grandpa didn't have enough money to get this land back. So what my aunt did, she got it back. She paid that, how much my grandpa pawned it to this Chinese guy. So my grandpa got it back. And but you know what, guys, my grandpa said that it never had a quiet family anymore. The family weren't the same anymore. The 4 brothers continue the jealousy, and that jealousy and the entitlement that they feel, you know, it really turned the family apart. So, you know, to make the long story short, what my grandpa did, he pawned it again. Because he said that my grandma at this time were sick, So he needed the money, so he panicked again. And guess what again? He wrote a letter again to his daughter here in Jacksonville and want her to get that land back again. But my aunt refused. Yeah. She said, hell no. I'm not gonna do that. I keep bailing you out and you let your sons take over the power of what you own and they continue fighting it. So the heck with it. Ever since, guys, they were poor. Yeah. And they end up moving away, I remember they all moved away and they got mad because they don't have no more, because my grandpa didn't own any land anymore, so they just all left, like saying, almost like saying to my grandparents that the hell of you guys, you know. Everybody disappeared. They left, like I said, my uncles went to Cebu, live in Cebu, and never got to see my grandpa again. And then my father and his brother went to Manila, and just me and one of their younger son at that time, left my grandpa. Struggle started because we had to work for somebody else's land so we can eat, And was from Baras, Santo Niño, Baras, Samar. And then all of a sudden I remember we end up in Rawis, in Calbayog, Bagakay in Calbayog, like that. So there we really hit the hardship because me and my grandma and my cousin, we just kind of like stealing some vegetable, the sweet potato leaves in somebody else's farm so we can sell to the market, something to eat. So learn too that is the thing about that my grandpa should not let that happen. He should stand over his children because of his children were fighting over it. So anyway, after that, I remember we went back across the island to the Mactang, Santo Niño, Samar. And then where the land that he used to own, that he pawned, that guy ended up keeping it. So my grandpa talked to the Chinese guy and asked him if he could work for, if he could take care of the land for as long as we could get some banana or sweet potato to eat. My grandparents and I and my cousin and my brother end up working hard just to harvest, to plant sweet potato, everything in this land, so we can have something to eat. It was a long hike, I remember, and during the hike, I always heard all kinds of monkeys, and oh my gosh, I was so wet, I was soaked in the early morning mist of all the hay, from all the hay, and we didn't have lap, and then we have to go to all the mountain, all them new coming out, new coming out hay, they were hurting on my foot, I keep stepping on it, and I remember keep telling my grandpa that um, put me in your basket. He used to carry basket, in his bag. And then I used to tell him, I used to cry, Grandpa, I don't want to walk no more. Put me in the basket. Yeah, guys, I always want to ride with, in the basket. And my grandpa pulled my grandpa, as old as he was, he was already curved like this. And there I was behind his back. Oh, Lord. But you know what, guys, that was, even though it was hard, the end of the day, it's already dark when we go back to our nipa hut, you know. It's still fun. It's still so fun if I think about it. And then after that, we go. It was just a walking distance towards to the. It was just a walking distance towards to the ocean. So we go under the rocks, wherever we could find all the seashell that we can find, so we can eat it along with our sweet potato, and yucca root, whatever. So that was our sweet, good memories, to me, because we always do it together, no matter what, Although it was a hard work, me and my grandpa always together, my cousin and then we go down. My brother was still little because he's like 2 years younger than me. And and then after that we go to the ocean, and then we eat together, and then me and my time to wash clothes. My grandpa always say, okay, Patring, don't go with us to the farm. You need to help your grandma washing clothes. So there we were in the sapa, in the creek, whatever. That's why when I go to the mountain, I always remember that, because we would find a big rock, and we just follow, we just wash by hand all them clothes, and then the water just, while you're rinsing the water, just go down the stream. It was so fun, and me and my brother always swim. So that was our good time that I'll never forget. But after that, we were taken away from them, and it got worse when we was taken away from them. You know, because we were away from the province. We were in San Andres Bukid, you know, in Manila, and I took the next vlog. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you guys. Bye bye.